do. So I went to church when I was younger, and I went to Christian schools. I didn't have many friends who were Christians, so a lot of it was just like a thing I did every week, and I wasn't interested. And then it got to the point where I wasn't interested, and I was still hearing about it, and I was like, I don't want to hear this anymore. So there were several years of like mild annoyance with it, but like it wasn't really a big deal. And I went to Christian secondary school, and there like all the teaching was inclined with like the learning, which in hindsight was really cool, but at the time I found really irritating. And then when I was 12, my mum was diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer, and it wasn't that severe. But that can't not change your world a bit. Basically realising how close death is, and that it was potentially in the person who like packed my lunches before school and stuff, it was really, really frightening. I don't think I dealt with it, like I didn't cry about it, I didn't talk about it. I just internally was like, God isn't real, because this wouldn't happen if God is real. And if he is real, he's not good, because a loving God doesn't do this. I know in hindsight, like I know now, that's not how that works. But you couldn't tell me that at 12, and you couldn't tell me that at 16. I didn't believe you. So there was a couple of years of really, like, vehemently being against God and really angry with him. Such not believing in him, but the fact that I was angry at him kind of indicated that, yeah, that I was aware of him, I think. And every year I go to a Christian camp with my cousin called DCYC, and every year I'd be like, oh, why isn't anything happening? But also I didn't want to let Jesus in. So it would be like this thing of like blaming him, but also like not wanting him, and this a classic move. And then in my last year, we were praying and like worshipping, and I started crying, and I was like, what's going on? Because I've never encountered anything like that before. And it was like I didn't see it visually, but it was like I was shown all of the stuff inside of me, like the pain and the distrust and the anger, and how hurt I felt that he'd like let my mum get so ill, and that like I was so angry that I'd pushed him away for so long, but I kept asking for him, and I was so confused. And he just said, you don't have to feel this way anymore if you let me love you. And I don't know who can turn that down, and I couldn't turn it down, but I also was like, how can this person want to love me? And then I was crying because of that. So I spent 3 days just crying. And it was a real awakening of empathy on one level, because I was like, oh my goodness, I have been miserable, and I've been making people miserable because I'm unhappy. And until that moment I hadn't known that I was unhappy.